Hey friends, so today we're going to dive into some of the deepest fears of homeschooling. Am I patient enough? Am I smart enough? And am I capable of teaching my child everything that they need to know to be a successful adult? But first, I would love to dive into a review by Southern Belle 26. I am always so grateful to you guys whenever you leave me a review in the 5 stars because it allows me to share more information more with the world. And really, my goal here on this podcast is to just bring families back home and bring them together and make them whole again. So, her review is: the podcast is a lifeline for parents embarking on the homeschooling journey, offering practical guidance, emotional support, and inspiring stories to boost confidence and ensure success. Kelsey provides expert advice, personal anecdotes, and valuable resources that empower listeners to navigate the challenges of homeschooling with confidence and grace. Each episode feels like a reassuring voice of encouragement, reminding parents that they have the knowledge, skills, and love necessary to create a thriving learning environment for their children at home. Whether you're just starting out or looking for fresh inspiration, this podcast is a must-listen for anyone considering homeschool. I thank you so much for all of your kind words, Southern Belle. It really, really means a ton. Welcome to the Confidence to Homeschool podcast with me, Kelsey Shalane. I'm a lover of all things Jesus, an exceptional wife to an exceptional husband, and a homeschooling mama of 4. Together, let's trade in those insecurities and questions of if you can homeschool for the confidence that homeschooling was the right decision for you. Through simple homeschooling techniques, growth in God, and small mindset shifts, we have the power to change generations and set our kids' hearts tuned to the Lord and a love of learning. So grab your lukewarm coffee, because who gets to drink it hot anyways, and let's shave off years of that how to homeschool learning curve. Our topic today, these big fears of homeschooling. Am I patient enough? Am I capable? And am I going to be able to teach them everything that they need to know? First things first, I think that people think that we as homeschool moms just have like this superhero level of patience, and that honestly just is not the case. Whenever you choose to homeschool, you are also choosing to take on all of the life lessons that come with it. And to be honest, a lot of the life lessons that come with it are you looking directly in the mirror at yourself, because whenever you are with your kids, on a regular basis, they are giving you back exactly what you are giving them. And so sometimes whenever we're impatient, they're impatient, and whenever we're cranky, they get cranky. Like, we, especially as mothers, I know that there could be fathers listening as well, but mothers, I can only speak to being mom. We are the thermostat of the house. Like, we set the temperature, and that's what they say, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And that's the same in homeschooling. If you walk into your day and you are already frustrated and you are already stressed out, then your kid's probably going to give that exact same energy back to you, and they're going to be already frustrated and already stressed out. So I think that there is so much to say that our kids are little mirrors whenever it comes to homeschooling, and that our patience becomes their patience. So when I say that, what I mean is you're not going to just walk into your first day of homeschooling and be the most patient person. But what you are going to do is you're going to commit to this decision for a period of time. And when I tell you that, I tell you most homeschooling moms that have been successful in homeschooling will tell you it takes 2 to 3 years to really feel like you have a grasp on what is going on in homeschooling, to feel like you are capable of doing it, and to feel like you know your child and you know their learning experience and what they like and what they don't like and what works for them. And that is a huge deal, is figuring out what works for them. And to be honest, it's going to be different with each child. So I say all of that to say patience is not something you are going to walk in with. So if you're thinking, I do not have the patience to homeschool, you're probably right, but most of us homeschooling moms didn't walk in with the patience to homeschool either. We just made a commitment to it. And that is all your first step is making that commitment to choose to homeschool and do it. Lord, please say yes for 2 to 3 years. Say yes. And if it's not working after 2 to 3 years, then go back to the drawing board. And I feel like that sounds like a really big ask. Like 2 to 3 years sounds like a really big ask. But I promise you, on the other end of that, if you are actually committed to it and you're wanting to do it for, the reasons of wanting the best for your child and wanting them to be the most amazing humans, and you care about their friendships and you care about connecting with them, if you're doing it for all of those reasons, you are going to search for the patience and you're going to search for the reasons to continue to say yes. And if you're having a hard time with that, that's why this podcast is here, because I've walked through all of that with you guys. So I have not walked out with the ability to be like, yes, I am patient all of the time. But at the same time, I have walked out with the ability to know, okay, I am frustrated. But a lot of times what I'm actually frustrated about is the fact that I'm trying to teach them something that I can't figure out how their brain is best going to learn that. And I think that that's one of the biggest mindset shifts in the ability to be able to stop, take a break, give yourself a couple of minutes, give them a couple of minutes, and calm down and come back to it. And just know that you guys are both working towards a common goal. Like, your child may not actually want to be sitting down to do school at that period of time, but that gives you an opportunity to connect with them. Ask them, why are they frustrated? Ask them what they aren't understanding. It gives you such an ability to be able to connect with them on a different level, and you may find yourself in a really wonderful conversation that you may have not known before that even their heart or that your heart needed. So I really want to encourage you to not let not being patient enough be the thing that stops you from homeschooling, because guess what? None of us came in with superpowers of patience. It's just something that you learn and you work through. Okay, so the next thing is, am I smart enough? I saw a meme the other day that I absolutely love. I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was worded so much better than I'm going to give it to you. I'm sure of it. But it said something along the lines of, if you think that you are incapable or not smart enough to homeschool, but then you turn around and you're sending your child to the same place that made you feel unequipped to teach them, how does that work? How does that work? How is it that we feel incapable of teaching our child something as easy as addition or subtraction, or honestly, to be able to read? Like, most humans in the world, or most humans in the United States especially, are able to read. And so I tell my son all the time, whenever he gets aggravated and he just thinks that he doesn't want to do it and he doesn't want to read, I tell him all of the time, most people in the world learn to read, and you are not unable to learn. You are fully and completely capable to learn to read. All you have to do is try and continue to show up. And we can do this at whatever pace it is that you need, but you just have to keep showing up. because if you keep showing up, inevitably they're going to learn, and inevitably you are going to learn how to teach them. So all you're required to do in homeschooling is to show up. You show up, they show up. And we've got wonderful curriculums at this point in time. Like, we are in 2024 where homeschooling is something that people are doing a lot all over the place. Like, I think that the homeschooling numbers are up to something like 5 million right now of homeschoolers in the United States. And it's such a growing trend. More and more you're seeing people pull their kids out of school. And I just really want to be part of that change. Because it is hard especially during that first year. It is, and I'm going through that again with you guys right now. I'm teaching my little ones to learn how to read. And it's a different ballgame with each child. So I say all of that to say, you are capable. You care more for your child more than anybody else is going to care for them. So you're going to have the ability to show up differently for them than most other people are going to have the ability to show up. And you're going to be giving them that one-on-one time and that one-on-one work that they really need. And especially if you're pulling your kids from public schools, you can go as far back as you need to the fundamentals. If you pull them early enough. I guess you're not going to take your high school back to the fundamentals, but you can still take them back to mastering multiplication and mastering division and mastering all of that if they are struggling further down the line. And it's not going to take you that long. It's truly not. Whenever you go back to the basics, you are giving them an opportunity to fill in all of the holes that they have missed out, where public school curriculum has just said, okay, we're done here because the rest of the class is moving on. You're just missing that part of it and you're moving on as well. So I really truly believe that you are capable of homeschooling your child, and you are far more capable of loving them through whatever circumstances it is that they have going on. And you're going to be more patient with them. When you have finally said yes to homeschooling, the next thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be figuring out curriculum and what curriculum you are going to be using. And there are so many options for curriculum. You can use something that is all in one. You can use something that is like spelling is one, writing is another curriculum, and literature is another curriculum. So you can deep dive as much or as little as what you're needing. We have used The Good and the Beautiful for the last 2 years. I'm going to do a review for you guys on this next podcast over The Good and the Beautiful and what I have loved and the pros and the cons. So be listening for that. And for our period of time that we have had with it, I have absolutely loved what it has brought to the table. And then now I'm ready to start breaking things up into more of a hardcore curriculum. I do believe that kindergarten through 3rd grade should honestly just be that basics of learning and loving to learn. And then in 4th grade, I think things get picked up a little bit more and we really start the teaching aspect of it. Their brains are a little more mature. They're a little more ready. They're more understanding of, no, I don't really want to write a paper, but we're going to write a paper. Whereas you're not going to get a 7-year-old to sit down and write a paragraph without throwing a fit, more than likely. So I say all of that to say curriculums are something that we will dive into. But you can make them as simple or as complicated as you need to or want to. I just want to urge you not to give your child so much curriculum and so much schooling that you make them absolutely hate the process, because really what's going to matter in the long run is your connection with them and loving to learn. All right, so am I capable of teaching my child? Well, the cool thing is we live in a day and age where there is so much curriculum that you have options for. You can really match whatever it is that your child is needing. If they're a great speller, you may not need a spelling curriculum. If they're a great writer, you may not need to continue to go into writing. You may be able to dial back a little bit on that and just have them do, a literature program and then write a paper at the end of it. So the beauty of homeschooling is you can really make that curriculum whatever it is that you need, but you're not going to know that without saying yes to homeschooling. And I want to urge you to not be fearful of your inability to teach them what they need to know, because in all reality, we live in this day and age where you can actually make money doing pretty much anything. And in the old days, it was we go to school so that you can go to work this 9-to-5 job. Most of us worked a job that we absolutely hated until we retired. And then that was it. You were done. You retired, and then you got to live this life that you loved. But that's just not really the world that we're living anymore. A lot of us are living in this world where we can work from home, or we can podcast, or we can do all of these things. But I think more than anything, if we are trusting that God is the one that provides us with our life goals, and that God is the one that gives us the desires of our hearts. And whenever I say He gives us the desires of our hearts, what I mean by that is He gives us the things that we love, that we want to do, and He helps us in that manner to be able to go and fulfill what it is that He is calling us to. And I think that whenever we are allowed to really grow and learn what it is that we love, and whenever we are allowed to be ourselves and learn who we are at the core, then we have an easier time being able to see what direction it is that He wants us to walk in. So, I hope that helped today. We are going to be diving into curriculums next episode. If you love the episode today, please scroll all the way down to the bottom of our show page, and there will be a place that it'll say leave a review in blue letters. Give me a 5 stars, and then please write your review. I can't wait to chat with you. And send me all of your questions, guys. I absolutely love being able to connect with you and give you some answers. I hope you have the very best day. Hey friend, thanks again for joining me today on your journey to the confidence to homeschool. I hope this podcast blessed you with one more tool of success. If it did, please scroll down to the bottom of your screen and leave me a review. Share it with a friend. Just remember, confidence in anything takes practice, so let's grow.